Pictures of grit, determination and courage. Words we don't often associate with our policemen. This is a story from Chandigarh, a story of how drunken drivers were trying to escape the law. But a police constable called Ramesh had other ideas. He jumped onto the bonnet of their swanky Mercedes, survived the hit and run, and ensured that these super brats were forced to stop at the next police post. The police had set up a control post to check drunk drivers in sectors 16 and 17, highly posh sectors of Chandigarh. A Mercedes being driven by a drunk driver did not stop. When the police asked them to, the drivers tried to go past the checkpost. Ramesh jumped onto the bonnet, forced the car to stop. The police has registered a case of attempt to murder, and the two occupants of the car have been sent to judicial custody.
ट्रैफिक पुलिस का नाका लगा था तो दो व्यक्ति कार पे जा रहे थे, मोबाइल फोन यूज कर रहे थे, ड्राइवर को उन्हें रोकने की कोशिश की तो उन्हें चालान बचाने के चक्कर में पहले मोटरसाइकिल में टक्कर मारी। जब मुलाजिम सामने आया तो मुलाजिम के बीच में टक्कर मार दी, जो टक्कर लगने के बाद बोनट पे गिर गया। तो ये गाड़ी करीब 300 मीटर तक बोनट पे मुलाजिम लेके भगाते रहे, तो पीछे पीसीआर की गाड़ी ने मैसेज मिलने पर उनको रोका। दोनों व्यक्ति मौके पर काबू कर लिए गए।
Joining us now on this story, which really sets the mood before Independence Day, where Modi is going to speak about a new vision for India, character building, taking India into the future. Here is a policeman who shows that he will not get intimidated, will not allow these rich brats to get away. Kiran Kher is the Member of Parliament from Chandigarh. She's joining us on our broadcast tonight. Ms. Kher, you would be delighted to see such courage coming from a constable in Chandigarh, ma'am.
Yes, of course. I think he's been extremely brave. I am so proud of him. Really so proud. Well done. And I'm glad to say that he's recovering. He's fine. He's being looked after. And I think he should be awarded. He should be rewarded for this. And the less said, you know, I mean, I don't know how much more to say about his bravery. And I want to make a slight correction. The IG told me that these people were not drunk.
Okay, the IG is saying that these people were not drunk, but it was a post to check people who were drunk. Then why did they get away? What did the IG tell you?
I don't know why. I think they were talking on the mobile or something there was for which they were not stopping. It's just musty they were doing. It's crazy. And they're not juveniles. You know, they are in their 40s, I believe. Now all this I'll get to know properly tomorrow, but I think this cop should be awarded, rewarded, and very well done, Ramesh. Chandigarh is proud of you. You
know, Gedi is a big problem in Chandigarh. It's a term particular to Chandigarh. That's really where it originates from, people driving around the streets, creating a menace. And this seems to be one of those cases, given how many bureaucrats, police personnel, politicians stay over there. That's a big attitude problem like the sort that Delhi has, where people believe that the law doesn't apply to them and the cops need to be subservient to them.
No, I don't think that's really true, you know, because they've been pretty, we've never had an incident like this, like what I'm seeing. I've never heard of it, even while living in Chandigarh earlier. So I don't think that's really true that this has been happening. This is the first of its kind. And our cops, our traffic cops are very strict, very good. Traffic is in control. You don't get all this speeding over here, you know. So I don't know, it looks like a very open road. It's really crazy. I don't know why they did it.
Okay.
I'm in shock.
Well, thank you very much, Kiran Kher, for joining us with your thoughts. Former MP from Chandigarh, senior Congress leader Pawan Bansal is also joining us on this broadcast. Sir, your thoughts on Ramesh and his exploits, the manner in which he stood up to these super brats who thought that they could get away, and the fact that he jumped onto the bonnet without fearing for his own life, sir.
Yes, that's true. This must be appreciated by one and all. This is a very noble act of his and must be really recognized as well appropriately. And what is actually cause of worry is that the youngsters go to that extent, get so reckless in doing it. And but we all must really appreciate and hail the bold and noble act of the policeman concerned in the discharge of his duties.
We've often seen policemen very scared of risking their lives with good reason. Do you think that Ramesh really need to be awarded for his heroics, his valor, so the message goes out that this is really something that India appreciates, seniors appreciate, politicians also appreciate?
He should be, and that will be a cause of then source of inspiration and encouragement to others, that if you discharge your duties well, those don't go without recognition. But I do understand that there was some other similar incident some time back also, but not of this gravity, that for long distance the man sat on the bonnet and they continued driving it recklessly for quite some time.
Now tell us, what about those in the Mercedes, the people who believe that they can get away? Do you think that strict action needs to be taken against them so that this case acts as a deterrence?
What I understand is that those people have been arrested. I don't know who those are, but during this interregnum of 40 minutes when I reached Chandigarh today, I checked up what the incident was. Then I'm told that 2 people perhaps had been arrested.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pawan Bansal, for joining us with your thoughts on this broadcast. Joining us also now is my colleague Manamang Sinchina, who filed this story for Headlines today. Manaman, give us more specifics about this particular incident. Who were those people inside the Mercedes? Why did they not stop? Because the Chandigarh police is far more strict than most police forces in India.
Well, Rahul, Mr. Bansal is very correct when he says that this is not the first time that such an incident has taken place in Chandigarh. Though it is very much the first incident which has been caught on tape. Somebody has actually filmed this incident taking place. Though such incidents have taken place previously too, where policemen have risked their lives in order to stop such delinquents of law from fleeing from the spot of crime, whether for breaking traffic rules or otherwise. But this time around, it is this dramatic footage which has been caught on camera, which has brought to limelight the attempts made by Chandigarh police to enforce law in the city. And the incident where this filming took place is between the heart of the city, which leads from Sector 17, which is a well-known shopping area, to the northern area, which is the Sukhna Lake, where all these bureaucrats and judges and ministers stay. And this is a lonely stretch of road where people often speed, which is where this police constable was deployed, and he tried to stop these people from breaking the law. They were speaking on mobile phones while driving, and when he tried to stop them, they sped, and he leapt onto the bonnet, hung onto the bonnet, and then smashed his helmet repeatedly on the windscreen of their car to stop them. But they did not stop for more than a kilometer. And later another car and some other passers-by intervened, forced this vehicle to stop, and then these 2 people who were in the late 30s, they were arrested.
Who are they? Who are they? What are they saying? Why did they not stop?
Well, what their defense is that they panicked and that they thought that they could shake this policeman off the bonnet and they could speed away. But they failed to do so because this man so tenaciously, he hung on to the bonnet. He did not let them get away. Their intent was to shake him off and speed away, thinking that nobody would know what has happened.
What action will be taken against the 2 who were in the car who chose to drive away instead of stopping when the cop asked them to?
But Rahul, they have been booked for attempt to murder, which is a very serious section, and they look at more than 10 years behind bars if they are convicted of this crime, which they most surely will be, given the kind of evidence which is available now. And this will also serve a lesson for all those, as you rightly pointed out at the beginning, in this city of bureaucrats and high officials and ministers who of the 2 states of Punjab and Haryana, and also the bureaucracy of Chandigarh, who feel they can get away with anything. And this will definitely serve a big message to them.
A sense of entitlement, a sense which says, do you know who my father is? Tu janta hai mera baap kaun hai? Is big problem in Chandigarh. And the moment these people are put away, maximum punishment is given to them. That sends a strong message. We salute the heroics of Ramesh, who's done a fabulous job. Ramesh, everyone is proud of you. And it's really good to see his work being acknowledged by others, and the fact that he stood there, he was on that bonnet, refused to get off regardless of the risks that he was taking himself. This is the spirit that India salutes and celebrates the eve of Independence Day. Thank you, Manaman. Headlines today's cameras have caught more than 20 MPs brazenly violating traffic rules. Remember, if you or I broke these rules, we would have had to pay a heavy penalty. But the rules, it appears, are different for VIPs in the national capital, right outside Parliament. Headlines today's cameras stood and just observed whether the MPs who were leaving Parliament House actually were following traffic rules. Were they speaking on the phone? Did they have their seat belts on? This is what we found.
आप सीट बेल्ट नहीं पहनते?
BJP MP Mahesh Sharma failed. Former Union Minister Shri Prakash Jaiswal failed. Aam Aadmi Party MP Bhagwant Mann failed. Our MPs are on a literal power drive at Vijay Chowk, oblivious to traffic rules that you and I are taught at school. Traffic violations that you and I would be heavily penalized for. But in VIP Delhi, the rules, it appears, are different for VIP netas. This is BJP MP from Noida, Mahesh Sharma, seated in the back seat of his luxury SUV. His personal security officer sitting in the front, not wearing his seat belt. For this lawmaker, rules are meant to be broken.
और इन्होंने PSO साहब ने?
PSO साहब तो सारे नियम तोड़ने के लिए बने होते हैं.
The PSO is obviously encouraged by his boss's care a damn attitude. Hear him now.
PSO साहब का पहनने का कारण कैसे?
Aam Aadmi Party MP Bhagwant Mann has an inimitable style. Big car, fancy phone, but no seat belt. When face to face with the camera, Mann gives a thumbs up to rules, but his actions hardly match his words.
सीट बेल्ट नहीं लगा रखी और फोन पे बात कर रहे हैं चलती गाड़ी से.
देखिए, अभी मैं पार्लियामेंट से निकला हूँ, फोन भी बंद हो जाएगा.
सर गलती है नहीं है गलती.
फोन भी बंद हो जाएगा और बेल्ट भी लग जाएगी.
नहीं गलती है नहीं है सर, आप तो आम आदमी के हैं.
हम इस बात के पक्ष में हैं कि बेल्ट भी लगानी चाहिए.
Don't miss the number plate. But this 007 is no James Bond. Sitting comfortably in his S-Class is T. Subbarami Reddy, who has forgotten to wear his seat belt.
सर अभी तो आपने नहीं लगा रखा सीट बेल्ट. तो सर एक बात बताइए, गोपीनाथ मुंडे साहब की भी तो आपको बताइए.
Obviously embarrassed, Reddy humbles, reaches for his seat belt, but decides against it, and then simply refuses to talk to us.
लगा लीजिए सर, इसमें क्या है? आपकी सुरक्षा के लिए सर. आपकी सुरक्षा के लिए सर.
This is how you handle a mistake. Pretend it never happened. Former Union Coal Minister Shri Prakash Jaiswal is seated up front without a seat belt. But he couldn't care less about being caught red-handed.
सर सीट बेल्ट तो लगा लीजिए.
अभी लगाता हूँ.
सर आपके ड्राइवर ने भी नहीं गाड़ी. ड्राइवर साहब ने भी नहीं लगाई है.
गाड़ी चलने तो दीजिए. खड़े खड़े आप क्या?
सर नहीं, पहले भी आपको देखा सर, हमने नोटिस किया.
ऐसा नहीं है, मैं लगा लेता.
Shiv Sena MP Sanjay Raut was a little more willing to accept his driver and PSO's mistake.
सर ये सीट बेल्ट नहीं पहना हुआ है. सर सही है सर, ये सही नहीं है सर. आप तो मतलब देख सकते हैं. मैंने कई बार नोटिस किया, नहीं पहनते सर ये लोग.
पहनना चाहिए,
पहनना चाहिए.
ड्राइवर को तो पहनना चाहिए.
Telangana MP Hanumant Rao too apologizes immediately when confronted by our reporter.
सर आपने सीट बेल्ट नहीं पहनी है.
खुद सर
आपने सीट बेल्ट नहीं पहनी है सर.
अरे सॉरी.
TMC MP Sultan Ahmed appeared to lack imagination while giving spondylitis as an excuse for not following life-saving traffic rules.
गलती नहीं है।
हाँ ये गलती है, भूल चुक भी है। अब मेरा कुछ स्पॉन्डिलाइटिस का प्रॉब्लम है।
Samajwadi Party's Rajya Sabha MP Munawwar Salim blurted the first excuse that came to his mind.
सर ड्राइवर साहब ने भी नहीं आपके लगाया है सीट बेल्ट?
वो भी लगाएं। अभी गाड़ी स्टैंड से निकाली है, सीट बेल्ट फौरन नहीं लगा।
सर दिल्ली है मेरे ख्याल से।
आप जो है स्टैंड पे से निकालने तो दोगे, जब ही तो लगाएंगे।
We also caught Najma Heptullah's personal staff without a seat belt. Embarrassed, he scrambled for his belt. Those who must lead by example are the ones setting the worst example possible. Are armed laws not good enough to govern our BVIP netas?
सर सीट बेल्ट तो लगा लीजिए।
अभी लगाता हूँ।
With Nitin Jain in New Delhi, Sankit Upadhyay for Headlines Today.
आप सीट बेल्ट नहीं पहनते हो? पुलिस को कर रहे हैं।
The flimsiest excuse in that whole lot was Sultan Ahmed, who said he had spondylitis and therefore couldn't put the seatbelt. I really wonder if that's stretching logic too far. But what happened after this story is even more interesting. The moment MPs figured out that the Headlines Today crew was doing this expose, after being caught the first time, several MPs went round and round Parliament House with their seat belts on, or at least with the driver and the co-driver having the seat belts on, just to show that their seat belts had come on, and encouraging our crew to actually come and film and try and ensure that the original footage never made it to the channel, but the new one did. That, of course, wasn't going to work. Hopefully this will serve as a lesson and our MPs will be belted the next time round. Let's move on to another story which is making it to center stage tonight, and this comes from Madhya Pradesh. A lawmaker of the BJP from Morena first thrashed a poll booth attendant and then went ahead and filed a police complaint. The brutal assault on a hapless poll booth personnel caught on CCTV, but the MLA denied ever having raised his hand. What's more, later, while speaking to Headlines Today, he said he didn't have any supporters, else his men would have thrashed all the poll booth attendants. Here's the full story.
Morena's brash, Morena's brazen. The whole act caught on CCTV camera. It was business as usual on Wednesday night at Chonda toll booth on NH3 in Madhya Pradesh's Morena, until this white SUV entered the picture. The occupants unwilling to part with 70 rupees, and the driver almost ready to run over the toll booth attendant.
विधानसभा क्षेत्र में अपने ही बैरियर पे पैसा दे देता हूं.
What follows is more bizarre. After a brief exchange of words between passengers and the booth attendant, all hell broke loose. Driving the SUV was BJP MLA from Morena, Rustom Singh. Enraged at being asked to pay the toll fee, his son Rakesh and another man got off and launched a brutal attack on the hapless attendant and two security guards. The BJP MLA joined in, slapping and kicking them violently. The cops blatant in their cover-up, shielding the MLA, bowing to power.
राम खिलाड़ी गुजर, उसने बताया वो अपनी थार गाड़ी से जा रहा था, तो वहाँ से निकला तो उसने 100 रुपये दिए टोल के, बकाया 70 रुपये जब उसने वापस मांगे तो टोल वालों ने उससे गाली गलौज की, बदतमीजी की, मारपीट की, धमकी दी जान से मारने की, और उसके पैसे वापस नहीं दिए। तो हमने उसमें मुकदमा दर्ज कर लिया है और जो भी वैधानिक कार्रवाई।
And after all this, a complaint filed by BJP workers. Police have already made 2 arrests, both booth attendants. But wait, the BJP MLA rubbishing the entire incident, denying his misconduct.
जब आए हम केवल एकमात्र अकेली मेरी गाड़ी थी, कोई भी गाड़ी नहीं। हम तो गए तो बाईपास लाइन जो है जहाँ से गाड़ियां सामने वो रुकी पड़ी थी, भीड़ थी गाड़ियों की। हमने देखा हो क्या रहा है, तो हमारे PSO उतर के गया, बोले साहब तो मारपिटाई चल रही है आगे। मैंने डांट के बोला, मैंने क्या कर रहे हो, बड़ी घटना हो जाएगी। अरे मैंने कहा इसकी बंदूक पकड़ो। तो हमारा बेटा था, वही मेरी गाड़ी चला रहा था, उसने जाके उसकी बंदूक को हाथ लगाए कि ये मत कर तू। जूमा झटकी, उसके साथ तो पिटाई बिटाई जो होनी थी सो हो गई, जो सामने था, और वो तो गया भाग।
Blatant in his defiance.
वहां तो कोई नहीं था। मेरे समर्थक होते तो 250 होते ना। मेरे समर्थक होते तो इनका मार मार के कचूमर उड़ा देते ना। मेरे समर्थक तो बंदूक का पता ही नहीं चलता ना।
The case only highlighting the sheer influence that local politicians exert, not only going scot-free, but shifting the blame to the powerless. Bureau Report, headlines today.
Rustom Singh caught on camera by headlines today, revealing his real intention, saying if he had his supporters there, he would have smashed the poll booth and beat the attendance through and through. Mr. Amit Shah, if you're watching this broadcast, now that you're in charge of the BJP, you need to act against people like Rustom. They're giving your party a bad name. This is not acceptable. And he's been exposed on camera by headlines today. That's where we end this broadcast tonight, but it's going to be a very early start tomorrow. 7 a.m. is when we'll see you tomorrow morning, building up to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's first speech from the ramparts of the Red Fort. Last year, remember, he was at Lallan Killa with the Red Fort in the backdrop. Then it was a dream. Tomorrow, he will realize that dream. A big moment for Prime Minister Modi personally, and also a moment where he will share his vision, his agenda for the next 5 years. It'll be a cracker of a speech from all that we've heard from people in the BJP who've been working on details, giving him all the masala which will be used in his speech tomorrow. Huge excitement, a lot of interest. We look forward to seeing you at 7 a.m. tomorrow, building up to Prime Minister Modi's first speech from the Red Fort. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow.